So just this function will add the dates, whatever the days we can give it here, we can add those days. If you mention months, you can add the months. If you mention year, it will add the years. So similarly, for example, I need to minus the date. Minus 1, minus 1. It will see, this is 2023 Jan 1st. When you mention like minus 1, it shows like 2022 December 31st. Similarly, we can do it like this way as well. It will minus the dates, subtract the dates. So this is clear, right? Date add function. In date add function, we have three parameters. Initially, we need to give the interval, like what are the days we need to populate here. Days. If you want to add the days, you can mention it here as a day. If you want to add the months, you need to mention here months. If you need to add the years, you need to keep it as a year. YEAR, year. Okay, this one is clear. Now I need to know the difference between these 2 years. For example, 2022 01 01, 2023 01 01. I need to know the difference between these two dates, like how many days are in between. So we have that function, like date diff function is there. I need to know. So simply I can pass this here, here, and pass it here. So date differences, like difference between these two dates on years wise. See 3 years, 2020 Jan 1st to 2023, 21 20 23, 3 years difference. If I want to know the month wise, so I can month. See 36 months. If I want to know the days wise, DD 1096 days. You can keep like DD or else you can mention like a day as well. Day means days wise. If I want to month, you can keep it like month. See, if I want to year, you can mention year here like this. See, 3 years. Similarly, like whatever date add will do, date add what it will do, simply whatever you can given the date, so you can add or subtract the dates, like whether it is in days form or years form, month form. Similarly, difference is also same, but it will give the differences between whatever you can need to give the inputs, like this date to this date, like differences on years or month or day. Okay, this is simple. Is it clear? Any questions on date add or date diff? If you have any confusion, please let me know. I can clear. I can try to explain different example. Gautami, is it understandable? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Just one question. In
Hmm.
date difference, can we use get function?
Yes, we can. See, GET. We can use anywhere in get function. See, 3 years.
Yes.
Days, I mean day. See, 1254. Even you can mention get it here as well.
Okay.
See, same date. I am comparing today's to today.
Okay.
Like this we can use.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, Rajat? Sri Lanka, Yuva? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to next topic. Now, date name. This is another function. date name. I am passing the get date here. There are two parameters for the date name. See, when I move it to here, it shows like a built-in function, get name, interval comma date. It will return the unvarchar value. So date name, I will pass the two parameters. So it shows like a June. So here passing the get date. Get date means today's date, right? Today's date. This is current date. Get date means. So in that current month, I need only the month. That to name format. Date name. Date name returns the name only. So usually what will get if I want to return, we have like these functions as well, like year means get date, select month, get date, select day, get date. These are the simple functions. Year, I am passing the get date, so it will throw the current year. Month, I pass the get date, it will return the current month. Day, I pass the get date, current date, it will pass the today's date. When I run these three, see, first one it return the year, second one it return the month, third one it return the day. Hmm? These are simple functions. Year function, just it will return the year. When I use month function, simply it return the month. When I use day function, it will return the day. But here I need month instead of 6. I need the name. 6 is which month? Like whether it is a Jan, March, Feb, April, which one? So that is the reason we have date name function is there. In this date name function, we can pass the month here. So we got the name like June. If I pass here Jan like 0101, now what it will return? Tell me what it will return now. When I execute this, what it will return as output?
January.
Correct. See, January. So like that, whatever the date you mention here in the form of this, that names will be displayed. Usually we have month function is there, but that month function will return like a numeric value like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. But I need the name. For that purpose, we have date name function is there. Similarly, I need to know the weekday, whether it is I passed one date, but I need to know the weekday, whether it is a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So I have this one, weekday. So when I run this one, it shows Wednesday. So in Jan 1st, 2020, it is Wednesday. Let's see what about today. So passing get date. What is today's day? Today's Thursday. Correct. Right? Like this, we can manipulate and use the date functions. Similarly, we have like a isDate function is there. This function will return whether you pass some value into the isDate function. It throws whether it is a date or not. That's it. So I am passing date. So it throws one. Yes. One means yes, it is a date. If I pass Chandu, it throws 0. It is not a date, right? If I pass like 2022 0101, it is a date. So for validation purpose, we use this isDate function for validation, whether input value is date or not. If it is a date, it throws 1. Yeah, it is nothing but a S. It is a date. If I pass ABC, it throws 0. It is not a date. See, for validation purpose, we use that. Okay? You understand this date functions? These are the important functions. Frequently, we will use this date add, we will use date difference, we will use date name, we use day, we use get date, we use each date we use, month we use, year we use. This one also similar to get date only. This date time. This date time. We have get date, right? Similarly, we have this date time. See the difference between these two. So both will return the current date only. Get date what will return up to this seconds, like hours, hmm? Hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. But here, like on microseconds, it will given. So that is the difference. Usually we need up to this level where that is fine. But in few cases, they will ask like microseconds as well. In that scenario, we use sys date time. Understand? Usually we require this is enough. Sometimes a few projects managers will ask you need to use instead of get date, you can use the sys date time. Then you can capture the microseconds as well. Okay? This is the difference between get date and sys date. Both will return the same. But this will return up to 73. This will return the like macro as well, milli macro. So I covered this data as well. So these are the important functions. These things we cannot use much. Okay. These are the date and time functions. Now I can explain. Yeah. Now I can explain the string functions where it is. Yes. Not string functions. I will explain now aggregated functions. Aggregated functions. Aggregated functions. What are those? Aggregated functions are max, min, average, count, sum. These are the aggregated functions. So select star from employee. I need data. Insert into. So this is the data we have. Now these are the aggregated functions. Aggregated functions I'm talking about. So select if I takes max, so name max of salary. See, select max of salary from employee. So these are the salary values. What is the max salary here? 6,000, right? So it will get the 6,000. Select the max salary from employee. Similarly, we have min as well. min, min salary. what it will return? 1000. See, 1000. Similarly, we have average, count, sum. This is max, average, count, minimum. See, this is our table. First one, it will return maximum, right? 6000. It shows correct or not? This is our table. So when I write select max of salary from table name. So in this table, salary max is 6000. So that max will return 6000. Correct? Similarly, average is there. Average, there is one predefined function. So when you take all these values and calculate the average, so it shows like 3500. That is average. Similarly, count. So it will count the rows. Salary, how many rows is there? See, 6 rows is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So count will return the 6 rows. Correct. So minimum salary from employee. So among all these salaries, what is the minimum salary? 1000. So it will return the 1000 here. Similarly, sum of salary from employee. So when you calculate all this sum, it shows like 21,000, like 9,000, 10,000, 17, 18, same. See, when you calculate, take the sum value for all these values, it returns 21,000. Like that, we can use the aggregated functions. Like if you mention max, it will return the max value. If you write it here average, it will give the average. If you give count, it will give the count. If you give minimum, it will give the minimum salary. If you use sum, it will give the sum of salary. Understand what is the aggregated functions? These are the aggregated functions mainly we use. We have remaining as well, like we covered average, count, max, min, sum. These things we cannot use, like where the grouping also we cannot use. Sum check also not use. Mostly we use these values. We can not only the salary column, whatever the column you can mention, you can write like this: star from employee, count star from employee. So it will return 6. So in the table we have 6 rows is there. So that is the reason we can return it like this. So EMP ID, again it will return the 6. So whatever the in for count, any value you can give. Even if I entered 1, it will give 6 only. 1 is treated like a employee ID. First column, select star from employee. See, employee table. If you give star, it will give 6 rows. If you give employee ID, it will return 6 rows. If you give name, it will return 6 rows. Even if you return here, if you mention salary, it will return 6. Active also 6. If I mention 1, in 1 is treat like a first column. If I mention 2, it is treat like a second column. If I mention 3, they treat like a third column. If I mention 4, it was treat like a fourth column. Okay, return 6 only here. Similarly, for example, sum is there. Sum, make sure we can give the value information. For example, if I entered employee ID, see 21, it will return. They don't know. All these values they can sum. See, sum of employee ID. See, this employee ID can sum. If I write name here, what it will shows? It throws error. So for varchar column, that to name columns, it cannot sum. Make sure it should be int value. Then only it will do. Int or decimal. See, name column it has done. Even maybe for active also it will do. Bit column, right? Bit column it is not doing. It is accepting only for integer and decimal, not with any other data type columns like names, bit. Understand what is the aggregate functions? Is it clear? Any questions? Rajat, any question? Srilekha, Yuva, Gautami.
Clear, sir.
So these are the aggregated functions mainly we use min, max, sum, count, average. So I explained date functions as well. And shall I continue or else shall I stop and continue tomorrow? Hello? Okay, then you can practice this date functions and uh, what is it? Like aggregate functions and foreign key constant. Tomorrow, few more system defined functions is there. I will discuss like an is, null, collate, and we have string functions is there. I will discuss tomorrow these topics later. Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow I can discuss. And today you can prepare the aggregated functions and date functions and foreign key. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.